A very good morning, everyone. Yeah, uh, Ujjwall ma'am, can we start with the webinar? Okay, I request everyone to kindly wait. We'll start the webinar in just few minutes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Can we start?
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
we?
We can start. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Once again, good morning, everyone. I, Mrs. Harshada Niju, on behalf of J.V.M. Degree College, welcome you all for the one-day webinar under IPR Awareness Program, which is celebrated on the occasion of World Intellectual Property Day, which will be coming in the coming week, that is 26th April 2020. I extend a warm welcome to our respected guest speaker, Ms. Ujjwall Jaipal Singh. Ma'am is examiner of patents and designs, Indian Patent Office, Mumbai. I also would like to welcome our honorable management member, respected principal ma'am, all the teaching staff members, and all my dear students for the webinar. And I'm very glad to introduce to you all our respected guest speaker, Ms. Ujjwall Jaipal Singh. Ma'am, as I already mentioned, is an examiner of patents and designs, Mumbai Patent Office, Department of Industry and Internal Trade, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. Ma'am has completed her BSc Chemistry from St. Stephen's College, Delhi University. She has completed her post graduation in MSc Chemistry from IIT Delhi. She is a net qualified CSIR net JRF in chemical sciences for lecturership and also GATE qualified. Her research experience is she has completed her project from IIT Delhi in the year 2017-18 on hydrogen production, that is photo electrochemical water splitting. She has worked as scientist C in Quality Evaluation Laboratory, Spices Board, Delhi. Now, I request ma'am to take over the mic and please start with the webinar. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving such a nice introduction of mine. Good morning, all of you. Ma'am, it's the time of pleasure and honor for me to welcome respected principal, ma'am, faculty members, all my fellow friends, and the participants on the IPR awareness program. We all know, ma'am, that our nation is celebrating 75th anniversary of India's independence under the banner of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And the government of India has taken initiative of National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission, under which awareness and training would be imparted to 1 million students on intellectual property rights during the period from 15th of August 2021 to 15th of August 2022. So, the main aim and objective of this webinar is to enlighten and motivate the students to convert their ideas into innovations and further transformation into IP assets through protection of their IP rights. So, now before spending too much time on the introduction, let's begin with the presentation. Actually, ma'am, I'm sharing my screen. Can you let me know whether it is visible to you or not? Uh, Now my presentation
No, no.
visible.
No, yes, ma'am. Now it is visible. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, today I will be covering three major intellectual properties, which are patents, designs, trademarks, geographical indications, and copyrights. So we will be discussing some basic concepts and the protection of ideas until up to which field these what kind of ideas can be protected under what domain of the intellectual property right. So the basics of intellectual properties and their right we will be covering today. So today's session is the part of National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission. So let's begin with the basics of properties. So as we know that properties are of two types. One is tangible property and another is intangible. Earlier in ancient times, our ancestors they used to do the trade of farms and farmhouses, buildings, proper that kind of property were in the use of trading. But somehow, as the time moves on, people started knowing the need of innovations. They starts getting aware about the importance and significance of innovations and ideas. For example, the invention of electricity, how it impacted the life of a common people, how it has drastically shifted or enlightened the normal life of the common people. So that is the importance of technology. Then with the passage of time, this concept of ideas is getting converted into a kind of property, how people can convert their ideas into property. Then people started to convert their ideas into the assets, and then they can be transformed or they can be treated as a property. So basically intangible properties are those properties which cannot be measured. For example, teacher teaches you, right? Doctor provides you services, and there are different kind of services that are provided to people on day to day basis. But can we measure them? Can we give the cost to them? No, we cannot. On some new technical aspect of a device, protect it. This will help you to be unique company or to be a unique owner of that particular feature. The very good example is iPhone. You know, the features that are there in iPhone, those features are completely unique. So they have, what they have done is they have protected their features. And recently a very new technical aspect is created in uh, iPhones, that is the privacy feature. It is very unique and Apple has filed for its protection. That's why it is that much famous device. That's why its price is higher, because they have their unique features and they have protected those features. And via protection, they excluded other companies which belongs to the same field from copying their ideas. So in this manner, intellectual property rights encourages fair trading, and which would further contribute to the economic and social development of the country. So whenever, how do they, now the question is, how do this contribute to the economic and social development of the country? Now the situation is, suppose take the example of iPhone. Now the company is based on, it is a US based company. So whenever this company exports its device to all over the world, then the GDP of the country is boosting up. So in this manner, it contributes to the economic and social development of the country. So that's why there is a famous phrase that you should be the job creator, not the job seeker. So when you have new ideas in your mind, it can be in any field. It can be a business idea, it can be a invention related thing, or it can be related to the academic field. So whenever you have such kind of idea, you should go and work for it. And when you do that, you are creating a job, you are giving employment to the people of our country. Then it will boost the economy of our country in return. So you will find that most of the developed country, what they have in common, they are very much aware of the rights which are related to the intellectual properties. They are aware how innovations and creations are important for the development of a country. So this runs in the cyclic manner. Now comes the significance of intellectual property rights. हमें rights की जरूरत ही क्यों पड़ती है? Why do we need intellectual property rights? So if I give you a situation that there are 10 students in a class, and all those among those 10 students, 1, 2 or 3 works were really hard for the exam or anything. Suppose a project is given to them, they have all the ideas and all, they are on the topmost in their project. So those students should be awarded which worked hard, they have put lot of energy while developing the project, and then they have utilized their mind capacities to be the effective one among other groups. So in order to reward their hard work or reward their brain, reward their ideas, they should be rewarded. So intellectual property rights are like that only. So whenever a person is working on some concept, then we know that a lot of energy, mind, and resources have been spent while creating that property. So in order to reward them, intellectual property rights are there for those inventors or creators. Now, in short, the importance and significance of intellectual property rights is to protect your idea, to exclude others from making or manufacturing your creations and getting benefits from your creation, and to utilize and earn from the ideas. So now comes the first intellectual property, which is copyrights. So in short, till now we have discussed the property, what property means. So whenever you convert your ideas into some device, then it can be treated as a property. Now why it is called intellectual property? Because your mind, human mind has been involved in that property. A very good example is the mobile phone, the laptop we are using, the washing machines we use, even the toothpaste. The composition that is there in the toothpaste, it is the result of some human processing, human brain processing. So everything that is around you, when you convert your ideas, the painting that is there, the Mona Lisa painting, these all are intellectual property. Then the aim is to protect your creations, to protect your work. Then the importance and significance is it excludes other, it encourages fair trading. Now, the first intellectual property right is copyright. So most of you have heard about the copyright issues. It is very much trending on the social media. So everybody is using social media platforms. For example, Facebook, then Twitters, then YouTube, then Instagrams. So you encounter in day-to-day news that there is that copyright issue, that singer has copied that song without the permission of the original creator. So these issues, when comes into picture, you should be familiar of that. So copyrights is the legal term that describes the right given to the creator for their literary, artistic, musical, dramatic, cinematographic work and sound recordings. So you have seen this C type of symbol on third or fourth page of your notebooks. So basically, it means that that literary work has been protected under copyright. then the copyright gives the creator of the original work exclusive right to it, usually for the limited period of time. And it does not cover the ideas itself, but the information only in the form in which they are expressed. So whenever you are expressing your ideas, आपके mind में कोई idea है और आप उसको express नहीं कर रहे हो, so it cannot be converted as a property ना. When you are expressing your idea, only then it can be treated as a property, and only then the rights can be implemented on those property. So whenever you express your ideas, for example, right now I am presenting this in PPT to you. So there can be different person. Every person has its own manner to explain this presentation. So the way I am expressing this presentation to you is different from second person. So we should be eligible to get copyright on this separately. But if third person will come and without my permission, he will share this presentation to some social media platform, then I can file the copyright case against him, because without my permission he is sharing my presentation. In the same manner, there are some other rights which are related to the copyrights, and these rights are broadcasters' rights and performance right. So copyright, there are 6 domains on which you can get copyright. It can be literary, films, dramatics, musical, artistic, and sound recording. So if you are working in any of these six domains, then you should protect you should register your work under copyright. In literary work, your literary work may include books, newspapers, question papers, catalogs, dictionaries, lectures, computer softwares, and computer programs. So most of us uses apps, and we get updates on apps after some time. So what do those updates do? Basically, updates are done on the app just to remove the problems that were there in the previous version of that app. So we all know that those apps, how do they work? They work on some programming languages, some coding, software codings. So those written coding languages are the result of human mind. वो language किसी human ने लिखी होंगी. It is the result of some human intervention. So those, since they are writing, they are in written form, they are expressed in written form. So those apps, as such, they cannot be protected, but their language on which those apps work, they are protected under copyrights. So if some person from you, if you are good in computer software or languaging, then you can protect your languages by copyrights. But the main criteria is your work should be original and unique. It must not be copied. Otherwise, some third person will come and said that it is copied and you are not allowed to do or commercialize your work. Then another thing is artistic work. Artistic work includes drawings, paintings, charts, works of sculpture, engravings, advertisement posters, industrial and engineering drawings, and photographs. So we have very good example. There is Mona Lisa painting. Do you know the cost of it at that time? Since the painting was unique, that is the original work, and it was unique in itself. So at that time, the artist was rewarded for his work. So if your drawing, you find that it is unique, and you can go and register under copyright. Then comes the musical and dramatic work. So in copyright, see, in musical work, take the example of song. So the song involves 3 components. First is the singer, second is the lyrics, and third is the graphical notation, that is the musical composition. So the singer cannot get copyright because he is the performer. So his rights are protected under performers' rights, not copyright. But graphical notations and lyrics, those can be protected under copyrights because you are expressing your ideas in written form. Graphical notations can be written. Another thing is dramatic works, for example, cinematographic work and dumb shows, that can also be protected under copyright. Then comes the broadcaster's right. These are related rights. These are not copyright but related rights. You must have seen the Kapil Sharma show that is there in Sony TV only. So the Kapil Sharma show you will find on Sony TV only. It means the Sony TV has the rights to air or to broadcast that program. Once it has rights, it will protect other channels like ZTV and Colors from broadcasting that program. So likewise, we have broadcasters' right, which are given to the broadcasting organizations. Then comes the performers' right. So in performers are like actors, singers, musicians, dancers, acrobats. These all are the performers and they can protect their work under performers' right. Now, a very famous case that will let you know about the significance of copyright, how much important is copyright to the person who is excelled in literary, artistic, cinematographic, musical field. There is a very famous case of fan movie. Actually, it is found that the creator of Abhineta has created a story in 1997, and when he saw the story of Yash Raj films, he found that it is almost similar to his story. Then he filed the case against the fan movie director, and the result was that they lose the case. Even though Abhineta movie story was similar to the fan movie, but again they lose the case. Why does that happen? It happened because at that time they do not have the legal document. So whenever you are doing some literary work, first thing you should do is you should get your work registered so that you can get a legal document. So whenever you find someone who is copying your work, you can prove them guilty in the court because court needs a legal document. So this is the case, and Yash Raj Films fan, it won the case. Now comes another intellectual property, which is industrial designs. So after this, after copyrights, all the properties are industrial properties. It means we will be capable of manufacturing these properties in the industries in n number of times. So copyrights is a different domain of intellectual property. Now the first one is industrial designs. So industrial designs protects the ornamental or aesthetic aspects of an article. It may be 3D, shape, colors, or feature. So whenever you go and want to buy a bike, suppose you have to buy a bike, what do? On what features do you look at? Either you will look at its technical feature. Suppose you go in a shop, its mileage, right? Its brake system, or what else you will look at? Then you will look at its model. Then you will look at its brand. So if you find that everything was same, the brand was same, the features in two different bike models, all those are same, but their color and their model, their outermost appearance are different, then you will select the one which is good looking bike or good looking car. So it is that those model or appearance, whenever an article has appealing appearance, that in that have some that lures the customer by enhanced visual appeal, then you will buy that price, buy that article, even though it has more price. It means that the design, the outermost appearance is adding some importance to the article. And again, it can be considered as the intellectual property which needs to be protected. Now, there are some important points while getting your work registered under industrial design. These are as follow. So, industrial designs are related to the features of shapes, configurations, patterns, and ornamentations. Second thing is they can be applied to the article by industrial process only, because industrial design is the industrial property. Then they should be new and original and not previously published, and they should appeal to the eye of the customer. So whenever you buy some article, you find that there are n number of colors. Now in the case of mobile phones, while I was buying my mobile phone, there were 3 colors in which that mobile phone is available, and 2 colors were already sold out. So, and the price may also vary depending upon the color. So it means that color, models, outermost appearance, they can be treated as the intellectual property. So whenever you find something, whenever you go in the market and you buy something, and some idea strikes in your mind that okay, if this price or this article would be like that, then it should be, then more customers will buy it. So what should you do is you should go home and start working on that concept and get your work registered under industrial designs. Now, these are the examples of industrial designs. So earlier we have normal chairs, but then some person created these bum chairs, and you will find that these are more attractive towards kids. So more kids find them appealing, most of the kids. And you can find these kind of bum chairs in almost all the play schools. Then we have milk cans. Earlier we have normal plastic bags, milk can, but then these comes into the market, and even though their price is higher, but customers will buy them because of their enhanced appeal. Then designs can be applied to the furnitures, the crockery sets, and the jewelry sets. Now, how do you know that your design is protected? You will find RD symbol on your article along with its registration number. What is the importance of this? Why do you need to protect your design? Because it may deter the potential infringer and help the legal action. So, whenever somebody copies your design and commercializing it, then you can protect him from earning by your design. Okay? Because then you have the legal document. Now comes another intellectual property, which is trademarks. So basically, before starting the trademarks, whenever you want to buy a shoes, branded shoes, how do you detect that shoes belong to this brand or that brand? You will detect the brands by either by some logos or some word marks. So those logos or those word, or there are some graphics symbols. Once minute. So trademark basically covers the logos and brand names and the word marks. So trademarks and service marks are the distinctive symbols that help the consumer to distinguish between competing goods or services and are major part of the goodwill of a company that enjoys in the trade. And the trade name is the name of an enterprise which also individualize the enterprise in mind of the customer. So that a sign that is capable of distinguishing the good or services of one enterprises from another are protected under trademark. So these are some examples that are related to some brands. For example, the first one, it belongs to a very famous shoe brand, which is Nike. Then the second one, again, it is a very famous brand, shoe brand, it is Adidas. So these type of symbols that are linked to some brand. So whenever you want to start your own company, then you have to, while marketing the products of your company, you need some symbols or logo that will help your product to be sold in or to be distinguished from rest of the products. Suppose you want to start your own shoes company and you find that your shoes should be original, your shoes quality is unique, then you are starting that company. You have to give some logo or that some name to that company or the products that are coming out of that company, so that it will have separate place in the market because of its quality. These are so trademarks in short helps to commercialize your product and helps the enterprises from distinguishing their products than those of other enterprises. Now, what are the subject matter of trademarks? These includes the brand names and taglines, then the certification marks, then the sound marks, then logos and olfactory or scents, moving marks. So all these things can be protected under trademarks. Now, why sound marks? Because again, it symbolizes some company. It indicates some company. There is very famous sound mark, which is ting ting ting. So whenever you hear that sound, a company name just clicks in your mind, which is Britannia. So the company name are related to some logos, brand sign marks, and those marks are protected under trademark. These are some examples of trademarks. So I will ask, there is a question in the quiz that is related to the trademarks, and you should be capable of answering that question if you listen to the presentation carefully. Now, another thing is, how do you get your trademark protected? What are the symbols of some good trademarks? First thing is, your trademark must be graphically represented. Second is, it must be distinguishable or distinctive. Third, it must not be descriptive, and then it should not be similar to the well-known mark. Now, in short, suppose if you want to start the electrolyte startup, you have a company which you want to start a company which manufactures electrolyte. Then you cannot give name ORL or ORZ to it. Why? Because ORS is already there in market, and ORL, ORZ, they sound similar to ORS. Then you cannot give this symbol to your electrolyte. Then another thing is, if you want to start your shoes company, then you will not give Abibas to it. Why? Because Adidas is already there in the market. So your symbol or your logo must be original. Then comes the geographical indications. For that, I have a video. which will explain the importance and significance of GI. Ma'am, is the video visible along with the sound?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
जिंदी चोर के साथ घमासान के बाद अब आईपी नानी बिजी हो गई अपनी पोती की शादी की तैयारियों में। संगीत वाले दिन जब छोटू उनसे मिला तो
वाओ नानी, आप तो बिल्कुल छाए हुए हो। आपके सामने तो मधुबाला को भी कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाए।
ओए, मस्का लगाना बंद कर। ये बता तुझे क्या चाहिए?
नानी, आपने तो मेरा दिल ही तोड़ दिया। क्या एक प्यारा सा लाडला सा बच्चा अपने नानी को कॉम्प्लीमेंट भी नहीं दे सकता?
अच्छा चल, एक्सेप्ट किया तेरा कॉम्प्लीमेंट। अब बता तुझे क्या चाहिए?
मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए, बस आपकी हाथ की वो स्पेशल वाली चाय पीनी है।
बस इतनी सी बात के लिए इतना बड़ा मस्का?
मस्का नहीं नानी, आप आज सचमुच बहुत ही रॉकिंग लग रही हो। ये साड़ी आप पर बहुत ही अच्छी लग रही है।
अरे ये तो स्पेशल लखनवी चिकनकारी है। लखनवी चिकनकारी पूरी दुनिया में मशहूर है। ये अपनी खूबसूरत और बारीक एम्ब्रॉयडरी के काम के लिए फेमस है। लेकिन पता है इसकी सबसे बड़ी खासियत क्या है?
क्या है?
ये एक रजिस्टर्ड जीआई है।
जीआई? वो क्या होता है नानी?
जीआई का मतलब होता है जियोग्राफिकल इंडिकेशंस, हिंदी में जिसे भौगोलिक उपदर्शन कहते हैं। ये किसी समुदाय का बौद्धिक अधिकार है, वो विरासत जिन्हें प्रोटेक्ट और एनकरेज करने की बहुत आवश्यकता है। मुख्यतः इन टाइप्स में रजिस्टर्ड होती है नेचुरल गुड्स, मैन्युफैक्चर्ड गुड्स, टेक्सटाइल्स, हैंडीक्राफ्ट्स, फूड स्टफ। चल अब ना किचन में चलते हैं और गर्मा गर्म चाय बनाते हैं।
हाँ हाँ।
किचन की ओर जाते हुए नानी ने छोटू को अपना देश घुमा दिया।
छोटू,
जी नानी।
ये देख, ये पेंटिंग देख। ये एक मधुबनी पेंटिंग है बिहार की, और ये है हिमाचल की कांगड़ा पेंटिंग। तेरे नानू को देश की कला और संस्कृति से जुड़ी हुई चीजों को इकट्ठा करने का बहुत शौक है।
अच्छा,
ये कठपुतलियां देख रहा है?
हाँ।
ये राजस्थान की है। इसी तरह छत्तीसगढ़ से बस्तर घूघरा, आंध्र प्रदेश से तिरुपति लड्डू, असम से मूंगा सिल्क, नागालैंड से नागा मिर्च और मध्य प्रदेश के बाघ प्रिंट, ये सब रजिस्टर्ड जीआईज हैं।
ओके।
ये हमारे देश की कला और संस्कृति का प्रतीक है। हमारे देश में हुनर और कला का इतना भंडार है कि अभी से ही 300 से ज्यादा रजिस्टर्ड जीआईज हैं।
वाह नानी।
चल अब तू चाय बनाने में मेरी मदद कर। एक बर्तन में पानी ले और उबालने के लिए रख।
यस बॉस।
पता है छोटू, तुझे मेरे हाथ की चाय इतनी पसंद क्यों है?
क्यों है नानी?
क्योंकि ये स्पेशल दार्जिलिंग की चाय है। ये देश की सबसे पहली रजिस्टर्ड जीआई है, जो 2004 में रजिस्टर्ड हुई थी।
लेकिन नानी एक बात बताओ, इन जीआई से फायदा क्या होता है?
देखो छोटू, ज्यादातर जीआई गांव के समुदाय के होते हैं। इनसे कारीगरों, बुनकरों, किसानों की आमदनी बढ़ती है। उनको अपनी मेहनत का सही दाम मिलता है और उन वस्तुओं की डिमांड भी बढ़ती है। साथ साथ खरीदने वालों को भी विश्वास हो जाता है कि वो एक जेन्युइन चीज खरीद रहे हैं।
ओह, वैसे नानी मुझे एक आइडिया आया है।
अरे वाह छोटू, तेरे को आइडिया?
यस नानी, अगले महीने फॉरेन से मेरे कुछ दोस्त आ रहे हैं। क्यों ना मैं उन्हें हमारे देश के कुछ सुंदर जीआई प्रोडक्ट्स गिफ्ट में दूं?
ये तो बहुत ही अच्छा आइडिया है छोटू। उन्हें ये चीजें जरूर पसंद आएंगी और हमारे देश की कला का नाम भी होगा।
देखा नानी, आपकी संगत में मैं कितना इंटेलिजेंट हो गया हूँ।
हाँ भाई, ये बात तो है।
I think the concept of GI is very much clearly explained on this YouTube video. Now I have a question. So I have a question which I forgot to ask. This is a painting. It is a kind of artistic work, and I have said that artistic work are registered under copyrights. So then why is it there in the trademark? Now the question is, why is it there in the trademark? Are the artistic work capable of registering in trademark also, or it should go in copyrights only? So you can write in the chat box. Where do you register these paint this artistic work? The answer is, since it's a painting, then it can be protected in copyrights as well as it can be protected in trademarks. But again, this symbol or these artistic work should be unique. Either it should go in trademark or copyright. The basic thing is, the main part is, it should be new, it should be original, it should be unique. So it can be either registered in trademark or it can be registered in copyright. So there can be multiple intellectual properties on a single product. For example, the mobile phone that you uses. So these mobile phones, the company or brand name that is there, it is the subject matter of trademark because it is a logo that links it to the company. Then the technology that is there in the mobile phone, it is the subject matter of patents because technologies are protected by patents. Then the outermost appearance, how should be its length, how should the device look, what should be its length, breadth, thickness, what should be its color, what is the pattern of that mobile phone. Those aspects are protected under designs. So there can be multiple intellectual properties on a single device. Now comes the last and the most important intellectual property, which is patents. So patents covers the technologies and innovations. So it is the oldest form of intellectual property protection, and it started in 1700. So it started whenever there is invention of electricity and the invention of bulbs, telephones. So it is that much old system. But the main aim of patents is to encourage the economic and technological development by rewarding intellectual creativity. So what is patent? In Hindi it means ekasva, yani ekadhikar. So patents means the rights that are related to the inventions. Patents वो rights होते हैं जो कि inventions को दिए जाते हैं. These are exclusive and monopoly rights. Monopoly means the person who has invented the device, he can be the person who will use that device or manufacture that device. So it is a monopoly right that are granted to the inventors by government. And who will give you those rights? Government will give you these rights, and these rights are given for 20 years only, thus preventing others from making, using, importing or selling in exchange of full disclosure of your invention. So basically patents एकस्व अधिकार वो अधिकार होते हैं जो कि इन्वेंशंस आविष्कारों को दिए जाते हैं. ये एकाधिकार होते हैं जिन्हें सरकार आप क्रिएटर को या इन्वेंटर को देती है. 20 साल के लिए ये अधिकार दिए जाते हैं और उसके एक्सचेंज में जो क्रिएटर है या जो इन्वेंटर है उसको अपनी इन्वेंशन पूर्ण रूप से डिस्क्लोज करनी पड़ती है, बतानी पड़ती है पब्लिक को कि उसकी इन्वेंशन क्या है। सो नाउ कम्स अ वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चन, व्हाट आर इन्वेंशंस? हमने कहा कि पेटेंट्स राइट्स इन्वेंशंस को दिए जाते हैं, बट देन व्हाट इन्वेंशंस आर? सो इन्वेंशंस कैन बी अ प्रोडक्ट और अ प्रोसेस। नाउ हाउ द इन्वेंशंस कैन बी प्रोडक्ट? जैसे हम अभी टूथपेस्ट यूज कर रहे हैं, we uses toothpaste. The toothpaste is a product, but how the toothpaste is prepared, it is a process. So patents can be given to both the product as well as process. There must be different process for making different kind of toothpaste or creams or oils, hair oils, cosmetics. So those process they are eligible for getting patents. Now basic requirements, क्या आप किसी भी इन्वेंशन को, किसी भी न्यू प्रोडक्ट या प्रोसेस को पेटेंट्स दे सकते हैं? द आंसर इज नो. योर इन्वेंशन शुड qualify some points, some criteria. First thing is either it should be novel or inventive. It involves some inventive step if it is not novel. Then the last thing is it should be industrially applicable. Right? So novel means it is completely new. So whenever when the electricity was developed or when the bulb was developed, then the invention of bulb is new. Nobody knows what bulb is. So at that time that is considered as novel inventions. It is completely new. Then what is inventive? Inventive means it is either economically significant or it has some technical advancement, means some improvement in already existing technology. How? A very good thing that you can relate to is updation in mobile phone, new features in mobile phones that I gave earlier to you, that there is some privacy or security setting in iPhone for which it has filed for its protection. Now another example that I can give you is, earlier while I was reading some newspaper, I found one kind of article in which there is the invention related to our glasses, eye glasses. So a person has invented the glasses which are capable of treating your eyesight. So when you wear those glasses, eyeglasses, then somehow it improves your eyesight. What the common glasses do is, common eye glasses, they just improve your vision. It means you can see the objects which you are not capable of seeing earlier. But those glasses, they have some technology which improves. So when you wear them, after some time, your eyesight will automatically get improved and you need not to wear those glasses again. So it is new now. Till now, nobody has developed these kind of glasses. So it involves inventive step. Now industrial applicability means your inventions, it should be capable of manufacturing in industry. So when you are coming up with some new ideas, then please be sure that in order to get protection, your ideas or your invention should fulfill these three requirements. They can be novel, they should be inventive, or they must be industrial applicable. Another thing is invention, patents cannot be given to the discoveries. Discoveries means the thing that is already there in the nature. So I got the application a week back, and this application is regarding the discovery of diamond. So a person, while he was farming, he somehow got some diamond and he asked for the patents on it. बट सिंस इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ डिस्कवरी, बिकॉज क्या उसमें ह्यूमन माइंड लगा है, उन्होंने तो खोदा और निकल गया, इसमें ह्यूमन ब्रेन का तो कहीं इस्तेमाल नहीं हुआ ना. So this is a discovery. It means you are finding something which is already there in the nature. So you cannot get patents on discoveries. Inventive step has already been explained to you. Then this is the first invention, Indian patent, which is given to Alfred George Depenning for his efficient pankha pulling machine. Now another patent, a very good example is, it is given to the Michael Jackson for his shoes. You know, he was very good dancer, and his famous step includes his alignment towards the earth without falling. So that kind of anti-gravity illusion is because of his shoes. So his shoes has a specific kind of hook arrangement which protect him from falling. So he was the owner of that shoes company, and he has got the patents on it at that time. Now in simple understanding, now the recap of all that we have discussed, when you are expressing your ideas, it is protected under copyrights. When your ideas are related to the inventions or technological developments, then it is protected under patents. So, and when your ideas are related to the quality of your product or your identity, when your ideas are linked with your identity, then it is protected under trademark. And if your ideas are related to the appearance, how your design should look like, how should be the outermost appearance, then these are protected under designs. So the main thing that we are lagging behind is that most of the scholars, they do not know where to go and how to file and what kind of work can be registered under which domain. So I think it is clear to you what type of work can be protected under which domain. Now comes the quiz part. For training, you can visit. If you need any further training in intellectual property rights, there are courses, monthly courses, weekly courses that this RGNIPM conducts, and you can visit this website for further information regarding intellectual property right courses. This is rgnipm.ipo@nic.in. Now let's begin with the quiz. You have to answer the following questions, and you can write in the chat box. I request the participants to answer the questions in the chat box. Which intellectual property is there in figure 1? Or you can unmute yourself for answer. I request either you can unmute yourself or you can write in the chat box. Which IP is there in figure 1? It is yes, copyright. So it is an artistic work, and artistic works are protected under copyrights. Then in figure 2, it is what figure 2 is? A sculpture, And how do you protect the sculpture? Where do you go and file for its sculptures? Where do you protect the sculptures? So sculptures, since it is an artistic work again, then you can file for the protection of the sculptures under copyright. Yes. So sculptures are protected under copyright. Then third is the device. Where do you protect? Now there are multiple intellectual properties in figure 3. Can you answer what multiple intellectual properties are there in figure 3? We have this symbol, Apple symbol. So this Apple symbol is related to a company. So these logos are protected under trademarks. Then we have different color or different shapes of the same brand. Then shapes and colors. Where do you protect the shapes and colors? Yes, industrial designs. Now, and another thing is the technology that is there in these devices that are protected under which intellectual property? Where do you protect the? Yes, in patents. Then fourth one, fourth is what? Yes, fourth one is trademarks. Now, another question, which type of IP protects the painting painted by artist? Is it copyright, GI, patents, registered designs, or trademark? Painting, where do you protect the paintings? Yes, paintings are protected under copyrights. Then, what protects the IP created by fashion designers? So what do fashion designers usually do? They enhance the looks of the clothes or materials. So where do you protect that intellectual property? In copyrights, in geographical indications, in patents, in registered designs, or in trademarks? Registered designs, not copyrights. Yes, copyrights is when you are creating the design on the paper, the design is different, and then whenever it goes to industries and it is manufactured, then it is the domain of designs, industrial designs, because copyrights doesn't include industrial process, right? So whenever you are writing on a sheet or whenever you are showing your design on a sheet, then only it is copyright. But whenever it is applied to some articles, some materials, then it is protected under registered design. So right now its answer is registered design. Another question, what protects the advanced disc brake for bike developed by the inventor? Now we have seen the gear cycle. Earlier there were normal cycle. So the conversion of normal cycle to the gear cycle, it involves some technical advancements, and Where do we protect that kind of intellectual property? Is it in copyrights or in GI or patents or registered designs or trademarks? Where do we go? Yes, patents. So now, which of these is GI? BMW, Patni Sari, ironing machine, PlayStation or World Wide Web? Yes, Patni Sari, because it is linked to the location or geographical point. Now another question is, what does trademark protect? Trademarks, does they protect inventions or art or logos, names and brands or looks, shapes and feel of the product or the secret formula? What do trademark protect? Yes, logos and names. Then last question is, how long do patents usually last for? What are the terms for getting patent? 10 years, 20 years, 40 years or 60 years? Yes, 20 years. Then a few more questions. If you write your original story, what type of intellectual property gives you the right to decide who can make and sell copies of your work? If you write an original story, stories, how do you protect the stories? Copyright, GI, patents, registered designs or trademarks? Yes, copyrights. Then, if a company develops new technology that improves its main product, what type of intellectual property can they use to stop others from copying their inventions? Copyright, GI, patents, registered designs or trademarks. Now, technologies are subject matter of which intellectual property? Property. Technologies. New technology that improves its main product. If a company develops a new technology that improves its main technical advancement, so where do technical advancement involve? Is it in patents? Is it in designs? Is it in trademarks or is it in copyright? अगर कोई कंपनी अपनी नई टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ कोई डिवाइस को इम्प्रूव कर रही है, तो वेयर डू दे गेट प्रोटेक्शन? क्या उनको पेटेंट्स कराना चाहिए, क्या उनको ट्रेडमार्क्स के लिए जाना चाहिए, या ज्योग्राफिकल इंडिकेशंस के लिए जाना चाहिए, या कॉपीराइट्स के लिए जाना चाहिए? The answer is they have to go and get copyright on it. This is all from my side. If you have any questions, the session is open to all. If you have any questions, you can ask me. The session is open to all.
Madam, I wanted to ask one question. Can I?
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Sure,
Actually, what had happened was there was a movie, Three Idiots, and
Yes,
it was taken after the novel, I think by Chetan Bhagat's novel, something.
Yes, ma'am.
And then later on, there was a dispute about it. Was there no copyright? What was the dispute about? I think later it was said that the Chetan Bhagat said that my novel was taken, and later on they did not want to pay me, so therefore they changed the script. So where would this come into? I mean, how would one?
So they have changed the script after the case, right?
Yes, once they hired Chetan Bhagat, they had his script, and then they changed a little, and then they paid him less.
So
So how
have they,
would
my question is, have they asked the writer for their copyrights? Because
I
ma'am,
don't know.
see
I
the thing is, it is the first thing that you should ask the first creator of the IP, and even the modifications in the novel, it is the right of the first person, first creator of that property. So even you have changed the script, again you have to take the permission from the original creator of that story. Otherwise, it will be infringement case. In my slide, it is the point is there that the person who is the original creator of stories or poems or any novel, only he is the one who is eligible for changing or doing any modifications in that story.
Okay, ma'am. I got it. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other question? Any other question?
Yeah, I request the participants if they wish to ask any questions to ma'am, please. I don't think so, ma'am. Anybody has any questions? Um, so we come towards the end of the session of today's webinar, and I would like to mention, ma'am, the session was very informative and very interesting. The last, the quiz part was really very interesting. We all enjoyed doing it. So thank you, ma'am, for the webinar. And I request now Mrs. Riyu Haldankar, ma'am, to propose vote of thanks. And I request all the participants to fill the feedback form also, which I'll be putting in the chat box now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Internal qualification of JME of J.V.M Degree College. I Assistant Professor Riyu Haldankar to interpretation have for highly moderate speaker, respected Ujjwall Singh to share her knowledge with all of us. Actually, an honor for me to extend a very heartly vote of thanks to you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for spending your valuable time with us.
Okay.
We learn a lot from today's session. I also express my gratitude to our ma'am, Dr. Mrs. Sarkar, for giving opportunity for organizing the webinar. Thank you, Principal ma'am, for all your support. This my heartfelt thanks to our honorable management member.
Sorry, Riyu, ma'am. I guess some network problems we are having. We couldn't hear you properly. So I request you please start all over again. Just give me a minute.
Actually, ma'am, I have another presentation at 12:30. So I want to leave right now. It was nice being with you today.
Thank
Hello.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello. On behalf of IQAC of J.V.M Degree College, Airoli, I, Assistant Professor Riyu Haldankar, would like to extend a vote of thanks for today's webinar. IQAC cell of J.V.M Degree College has put a small effort to bring highly qualified speakers, respected Ms. Ujjwall Jaipal Singh ma'am, to share her knowledge with all of us. It's surely an honor for me to extend a very heartily vote of thanks to you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for spending your valuable time with us. We all have definitely learned a lot from today's session. I also extend my gratitude to our respected principal ma'am, Dr. Mrs. Leena Sarkar, for giving us an opportunity for organizing this webinar. Thank you, principal ma'am, for all your support. I would like also express my heartfelt thanks to our honorable management members and all the attendees for unwavering attention. On behalf of JVM's Degree College, I, Assistant Professor Riyu Haldankar, would like to conclude today's amazing session. Thank you everyone for your support. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye. Take care. Everyone can leave the meeting now.